Thanks, Bex. We are here in Seattle this morning at Amazon's headquarters. And earlier this morning, the company's CEO, Andy Jassy, released his annual letter to shareholders, touching on everything from product pricing to cost cutting to delivery speeds, artificial intelligence, and so much more. And Andy Jassy joins me now in an exclusive interview, and we're thrilled to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for waking up early to do this. I want to start, there's 100 places to go here because you touch on just about everything in this letter. But I want to start with AI because it seems to be the buzzword of everything. When we were here last year, we were talking about AI, but it was unclear, I think, completely where Amazon was going to play in this AI world. And you now say it is going to change everything and that you have really almost shifted the whole company towards AI in almost every space now. Yeah.
Well, we've been saying it for a while, and I do think that AI is going to transform every customer experience that we know. And, I think a lot of the discussion has been around applications and starting really with ChatGPT, which really caught people's attention. But we think there are three big macro areas of the generative AI stack, each of which are gigantic and each of which we're investing deeply in. And, I think of it as at the lowest layer are for people that are building their own large language models. And the two things that really matter there is the compute to train the model and to run the predictions of the inferences. And what matters in that is the chip. Right. And then the services that you have to actually build models. And we've got very significant investments there. Most of the early AI models have been built by NVIDIA, but supply is more scarce and people are concerned about cost. And so we've built our own custom silicon in AI. We've built a training chip called Trainium and an inference chip called Inferentia that are meaningfully more price performant than what you can find out there. So a lot of the training, a lot of the predictions are going to be done on those chips. And, and then I would say at that middle layer of the stack are for people that are going to actually leverage somebody else's model, but customize it with their own data and then use our features to make it easy as a service. And we built the service called Bedrock. And a lot of the generative AI applications are being built on top of Bedrock because it's the easiest way to build a high-quality generative AI application. Then there's the applications of which, we're building a lot of them ourselves, but the vast majority of those will be built by third parties, and we're optimistic a lot of them will be built on AWS.
Let me ask you about this. Let's talk about large language models because there's just so much focus on it. You have now made investments in Anthropic, which Google has also made an investment in. You're building your own large language model called Olympus. How are you thinking about investing in things like an Anthropic versus trying to build your own?
Well, I think the one thing that we've seen pretty consistently in this relatively early stage of generative AI is that customers want choice. They're learning how to build models. They want different model types for different types of applications and use cases. They want different model sizes because it changes the latency and the cost structure. And so, part of the attraction for so many people of Bedrock, I was just mentioning, is just it has the largest selection of models available. It's got not only models that we build, but also Anthropic and Meta with Llama 2 and Mistral and Cohere and Stability AI. So you have a lot of choices. And then Bedrock makes it really simple to move between models and move between model sizes so that you can actually experiment and get the right quality and latency. We're going to, for us, and we see it with our own, we're building dozens of generative AI applications right now, some of which are launched, others are in development. We find it with our own model builders and our own application builders that sometimes they want to use our own models, sometimes they want to use third-party models, and we're going to give people choice so they can make those decisions.
How important, though, is it for you to catch up on having your own generative AI large language model? Meaning this Olympus project, which has been reported on, how important is that? How far behind do you think you are? What do you have to do to get that to the same level as where Anthropic may very well be or where you believe OpenAI is today?
Well, first of all, what I would tell you is that this is going to transform virtually every experience we know. It's a gigantic space, and there are going to be a lot of very successful players in it. And if you go talk to enterprises or companies that are using generative AI, they are very excited about what we're building, and more customers are moving to our services. And we're going to have partnerships. We have a very deep partnership with Anthropic. Claude 3, which they released just a few weeks ago, is the best model on the planet right now with the best performance, and it runs best on top of AWS. And so our customers are very excited about that. But at the same time, we have a lot of experience building models at the company. We've been doing it for a long time, and we've been building our own models, and these Titan models we have, we're going to keep building those, and we're going to give people choice.
Big issue with building these models is the data input that's being used to train. Do you know, for example, with your new large language model, what data you're using to train it on? There were reports that OpenAI was desperate for data. They actually built a program just so they could create transcripts of YouTube videos so they could train off the transcripts because they didn't think they had enough data. And that, of course, raised questions about copyright and the like. But I'm so curious how you guys are doing it.
Well, we have a group of people that spend a fair bit of time, all the time, by the way, because the landscape continues to evolve, but thinking through the best way to build the models. We're very thoughtful and very careful about what data we use. We, of course, have some proprietary data and some licensed data and some publicly available data, and we use all of it.
You have all the sources. Some people ask, because someone asked me this, you have all the books in the world, many on Kindle. Are you able to train on that data?
Again, there's some of that data we can train on, and again, we try to be thoughtful about what data we train on. We also do licensing deals in some of these cases in different types of data, and so, these models, they're getting smarter and smarter, and I think you've probably read about, as you build these really big models, we have not yet gotten to a point where the models are so smart that they wouldn't benefit from more data. And so, I think people are looking for data, but we're being thoughtful about how we use it.
Does it matter that something like an Anthropic also is operating with Google? I mean, they have an investment in them as well. They're on their cloud as well. I ask because I looked, you have $70+ billion in cash. Would you just prefer to buy the whole company if you could?
We have a great partnership with Anthropic, and it's true with most technology. If you operate in the technology space, you get pretty comfortable with co-opetition. It's just the way it works, and so we have a great relationship with them, and we're very comfortable with the arrangement. We're excited about the investment. Remember, as part of our relationship, it's not just that we offer their models in an easy-to-way use on Bedrock. They're training their future models on our chips, on Trainium, and they also named us as their primary cloud partner. And so there's a lot of collaboration there. We're really happy about the relationship.
Do you think you could buy a firm like Anthropic in this environment from a regulatory perspective?
I don't know. I mean, I think we got to be careful right now in Western countries in the way that we're handling regulation. I think a really good example of that is what happened with iRobot, if you followed that. So I think it's a really kind of a sad story. It's a great entrepreneurship story where you had this, this American company that invented this product, invented the category, and built a business that was almost $1 billion in revenue. And whenever you build a good business, you end up with company and competition. So they attract these two very large Chinese companies as competitors.